So according to Chini, our topic for this morning, for week 6 is program design, about the program. Thank you, Chin. Now allow me to share in the screen the study guide or the compressed discussion I uploaded in the Quipper. Makita ninyo?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay, sige. Again, good morning. For today, we're gonna discuss about the components of the program design, or the objective or the outcome of this lesson is that you will be able to explain the 4 components of program design. But before that, we'll have first the unlocking of difficulties, the terms program design and detailed lesson plan. So when we say program design, this refers to the organization and coordination of training program. While when we say detailed lesson plan, this translates the content and sequence of training activities into a guide that is used by the trainer to help deliver the training. Okay. So before we'll have that, flash ko muna sa screen. Ayan. Okay. So ang introduction for this topic. Okay. So here, no, we can see na program design refers, as what I have said, yun na nga, refers to the organization and coordination of the training program. So my example dito, say a chapter opener showed how Gale's residential training ensures that trainees are actively involved in learning, meaningful content is provided, and incentives are provided to reinforce and motivate learning. So makita nato din ng example, pag sinabi pala nating program design, ibig sabihin, we are going to hanayon nato ba ang isa ka training, ang isa ka activity or specific activity nga naga-aim ta to acquire skills, additional knowledge, or maybe behavior to our employees or to our participants. Because again, di ba, gidefine na nato ang training dati. Training is the process of acquiring knowledge, skills, or change of behavior and so on. So ang program design, nag-help siya, no, again, to organize and gina-coordinate, ginahanay niya ang isa ka program, isa ka training. So for instance, yun na nga, gina-make sure niya na actively involve ang trainees. At the same time, na ay meaningful content. Now, when we say meaningful content, ibig sabihin, na ay value tong nakuha niya nga learning, katong mga nakuha na dungog niya sa training, sa seminar, na siya nakuha ato dili kay mahuman na lang ang seminar, mahuman lang training, igo lang siya ni attend, igo lang ka na minaw, then after ato, tapos sa dalunggan. Now, it should be meaningful content. And lastly, ang example is sa program design is it can provide incentives, no, to reinforce and motivate the learning. So all of this muna siya ang ginabuhat para ma-organize and ma-coordinate ang training program. Now, bakit tayo nag-discuss of training or program design rather, no, 'di ba? Previously sa ating second exam na coverage is learning, ano yun? Training, ano nga yung topic natin sa nawala na tuloy ako. Yung topic natin
Learning and transfer.
ano yun, dear?
Learning and transfer of training.
Yon, very good. Sino yon? Sino yung nagsalita? Hindi ko nakita.
Ikalimas na.
Ayun, si Igalinos. Yan. Sabi ni Mrs. Igalinos, yan. Ang unang dalawa kasi yung topic natin sa second exam. Learning and transfer of training. Very good. And yung isa is training evaluation. So, kung nabasa to ninyo sa learning and transfer of training, i-emphasize dito unsa ang mga outcomes, di ba, nga makuha sa learner or makuha sa employee or makuha sa participants nga nag-attend sa training. And then, giunsa po to niya pag-transfer. Bali pag katong iyang mga nahibalan sa training, gi-share niya pagbalik niya sa iyang gitrabahuan. And after that, gi-evaluate sila, 'di ba? There was a evaluation, the pre-test, the post-test, the time series, katong mga different pa na mga evaluations nga pwedeng gamiton para maka-assure ka nga naagyoy transfer of learning, no, or transfer of training na ay nakuha sa empleyado. Now, prior to those things, no, actually bago para ma-assure gid nimo nga na ay transfer of training para sa pag-abot sa imong evaluation, assured yun ka nga meaningful yun ilang pag-attend sa training, dapat nag-design ka og program pod nga meaningful, no, nag-design ka og training nga suitable sa ilaha, no. Say for instance, magpakanda ka, di ba? Prior to this topic is discussion nato is naatay needs training, needs assessment, no? Kung maka-remember pa mo na ay tulo ka gina-consider nato. These are first the organizational analysis, the person analysis, and the task analysis. First, to be able to know talaga kung sa why is it necessary to have training. So mo to tanaw nato ang naga-needs analysis ta. Kasi nga, ginapunto na to para di mabaliwala. Now for this, mo po ni ang barag same thought na nag-design ta sa program first to have a meaningful content. We organize it and we coordinate to make sure na yun na nga, trainers is actively involved, meaningful content, and somehow ma-motivate sila and ma-reinforce ang ilahang learning. Ayan. Okay? So in here, it is important to take a broad perspective when designing training, regardless of whether it is an online or face-to-face training, class, or course. So employees have to be motivated to attend training events, use what they learn on their job, share their knowledge and skills with others, and continue to shape and modify the knowledge and skills acquired to meet changing business and job demands. So it's really important, no? Kaya para dili ma-useless ang ato ang training sa ilaha, dapat i-design jud nato siya based sa ilahang need, no? Based sa ilahang motivation nga naa sila. Dili pwede nga kita as HR puhon mag-design lang tag training for the purpose nga makabuhat tag activity. No, we really need to consider our learners or our participants or employees. Yan. So again, kay gamiton daw na nila, no, use what they learn on their job. So magamit ni nila silang nahibalan sa ilahang trabaho, and of course ma-share to nilang knowledge and skills with others. Kasi syempre kung ipadala nato sila, pagbalik nila sa ato ang company, di lang pwedeng nagasto ta sa ila, but we really should have something nga makuha sa ila, which is yun nga, the knowledge and the skills nga ma-share nila sa ilang co-employees. Okay? So Apotol, this means that program design should include not only what goes on during training based and course lesson, but also creating conditions before the training event to ensure the trainees are willing and ready and motivated to learn the knowledge and skills. So ang ibig sabihin daw, pag magbuhat ito program design, no, same atong sa evaluation, pre-test, na post-test, before daw magkaroon ng training, we need to make sure na ang trainings kay willing, no? Dili kay pinugos. Ready sila, and then of course motivated sila para dili masayang ang imong gibuhat nga training. Mo nay pulos nga nung natay program design. Ira, I think, can relate kasi she's now preparing project proposal or project activity, or let's say activity proposal, activity design for our upcoming HR Fun Week. Even though more of the sa tawag na talent showcase siya so ever, pero in sort of yun ato ang paghanay sa program design. Later mag-show ko para makita gid ninyo unsa gid ang dagway anang program design. Okay, now in 5.1, no, mas easy nato na masabtan unsa di ang process sa program design, because we can see here, no. So sa phase 1, there is pre-training. So before pa nagkandak ang training. So sa pre-training, we need to prepare, we need to motivate and energize trainees to attend learning event. Aside from that, we need also to ensure that work environment like climate, like the manager support, the peer support, um are intact, no, para we can assure nga na ay learning and transfer of training, since mo niya nga to ang topic diba tong sa second exam. Mo yun ang pinaka-importante na ay learning, hawan sa learning na ay transfer of training gikan sa atong participants. So bago na siya mahitabo, so na to pag-assure, again, i-prepare na to sila, i-motivate na sila, energize na to sila, i-ensure na to ang ilang work environment kay suitable, no, sa ilaha. Another, the phase 2 is the learning event. So, yun na, mag-prepare na ka sa instruction, like the class courses, programs, lesson, katong mga sulod na sa imuhang training. I-prepare to nimo siya. Dili kay ura-urada lang nga, o muna itong sisgutan and so on. Dapat hanay na siya imong mga materials, ng mga gamiton, ang physical environment, ang venue, no, to facilitate learning and transfer of training. And lastly, the post-training. So encourage learners to apply what they have learned to their work. So again, pre-training, preparation, learning during event, then post-training, make sure nimo nga katong ilang nahibalaan are can be applied rather sa ilahang workplace. Okay. Balik tayo doon sa ating module. Ayan. So considerations in designing effective training programs. So we have here selecting and preparing the training site. Unsa ganito ganina tawag sa kuan? Preparation bago mag-start ang training. Unsa tawag ato? Ganina? Anyone? Hello?
Pre-training, ma'am?
Yeah, very good. Sino yung nagsalita? Kindly acknowledge yourself.
Yagonya, ma'am.
Yan, si Miss Mary Grace Yagonia. Very good. So again, sa pre-training, make sure na to, di ba, na ay preparation, na ay motivation, na ay kompleto, conducive ang working environment, ang mga support sa peers, sa management, and so on, para ma-assure na to ang transfer of, ang learning and transfer of training. So first in hand is the training site. No? So i-consider na to ang training site. Kasi pasabot sa training site, ma'am. So here, it is clearly defined as the room where the training will be conducted. Training site, dila siya room nga kanang physical nga na ay mga corners, actual nga maadto ka dito, but it would be like online, labo na karon na panahon, no? Dili ta pwede mag physical contact. So, ginabuhat na to atong mga trainings, atong webinars through Zoom, through Google Meet, or other platforms. So, that can be a training site. Kung asa gikandak ang training or asa ikandakay ang training. Now, we have considerations. No, natay tulo ka consideration nga tan-awon unsaon na to pag-assess na it is a good training site. So, one, it should have a feature na comfortable and accessible. Kani ato sa unahon ang sa physical. No, kung magbalik pohon, no, muna siya dapat ang ato ang kuan. Magbalik pohon sa normal, muna ang ato ang i-consider. Comfortable and accessible. So, unsaon na to pag-ingon nga komportable, no, ang isa ka place. So later, ato ning i-discuss ning details. That's one. And of course, another is accessible. Let's say sa sentro, dili suok-suok, no? Di na kailangan nga magkawala-wala pa or kailangan og GPS para lang yun matud-an tong training site, no, nga location. So dapat accessible lang siya para dili mahasol, dili ma-stress, dili mahaguan ang atong participants sa pag-adto. Another, it should be quiet, private, and free from interruptions. So, syempre, kay para makakonsentrate ang atong mga participants. Kay kung public siya, daghang tawo, makasamok. Saba siya, di makakonsentrate. And yun na nga, free from interruptions, walay mga saba sa vehicle, and so on. No? And lastly, it has sufficient space for trainees to move easily around in, offers enough room for trainees to have adequate workspace, and has good visibility for trainees to see each other, the trainer, and any visual displays or examples that will be used in training sample videos, product samples, charts, and slides. So again, the point of this idea or of this feature is that kanang luag ba ang imuhang training site, no? Ang space sa imong training site. Dili kay motindog pa lang sila, maipit na ka kay tungod sa kaguot. So dapat since training siya, imong i-assume nga naging mo yung mga workshops all along. So dapat na yung mga working space, enough working space to accommodate the participants na makamove sila easily and so on. So again, muni ang tulunga, kailangan natin i-consider for us to be able to acknowledge or to be able to confirm that it's a good training site. Muna dapat nga mga features. Now, let's have the details to consider when evaluating a training room. So, unsa ang mga details? Ito na yung sasabi ko nga, dapat komportable. So, para makaingon ta, so muna dapat ato ang i-evaluate. Una, noise. No, there's a noise. So, noise, check for noise from heating and air conditioning systems, from adjacent rooms and corridors, and from outside the building. So, dapat ang atong aircon dili saba, no, dili pod init, no, kaya dapat adjacent pod ang mga rooms sa corridors from the outside buildings kay makakos man na siya og kanang naay magawas na mag abri-abri, na maglakaw-lakaw sa corridor, sa hallway. So madisturbo ang mga participants nimo. So i-consider na nimo, first one is noise. Then second, mangita na po kag training room is ang color. Tanawon po nimo ang color. Pastel hues such as orange, greens, blues, and yellows are warm colors. So variations of white and cold and sterile. Variation of white are cold and sterile. So black and brown shades will close the room in psychological and becoming fatigue. So muna imong ipang consider, no? Maraog warm colors ang yellow, blue, green, orange. Depende siya kung unsa nga training imong gusto ipahatag sa imong empleyado. But if I would give an advice, these are not preferable, no? Then dito naman ang black and brown the shades will close the room in psychological and becoming fatigue. So, pwedeng ito na mga colors, no? Will close the room in psychological and becoming fatigue. Maka-fatigue siya na ang brown and ang black. While variation of white are cold and sterile. So, magdepende gyud siya sa imuhang venue, ang mood po sa imuhang mga participants. That's why i-check gyud nimo ang colors, no, sa location nimo or sa training room. Another is the room structure. Use rooms that are somewhat square in shape. Long, narrow rooms make it difficult for trainers to see, hear, and identify with the discussion. So, dapat dili taas kaayo. Sakto lang yun. Enough lang ang room and it is a square shape. Another is the lighting. Main source of lighting should be fluorescent lights. Incandescent lights should be spread throughout the room and used with dimmers with projection is required. And then, wall and flooring covering, carpet should be placed in meeting area. Solid colors are preferable because they are not distracting. So only meeting related materials should be in the meeting floor or meeting room walls. Meeting room chairs should have wheels, kung pwede, swivels and backs that provide support for the lower lumbar region para dili magsakit ang likod sa mga minaw sa participants. Glare, check and eliminate glare from metal surfaces, TV, monitors, and mirrors. Kanang mga silaw gani. Sample, pag flash nimo, mag-open ka sa TV, mag-open ka sa monitor. Kana gani, masilawan gani ka, that's a glare. Ano, kanang reflected, mag-reflect ang light gani sa mga metal surfaces, sa mga scene, mga aluminum, magsakit yung mata ka, mag-reflect ang light. No, that's considered as glare. Then sa mirrors, so iwasan na siya. Another, ang ceiling, it should be 10 foot high. No? So, inana kataas para dili nga na siya kamubo. Sakto lang, dili pud huot no murag kog tag maglisod og ginhawa kung mubo ra pud kayo. Kung taas pud kayo, maglanog-lanog pud ang tingog. So, ang pinaka-ideal is 10 foot high. Then, electrical outlets should be available every 6 feet around the room. No? A telephone jack should be next to the outlets. Outlets for the trainer should be available. So, dapat enough pod no kay basi daghan og gamiton ng mga equipment, daghan og gamiton nga mga gadget si trainer. So, dali lang na siya ma-access. Dili na ka makadisturbo pa nga mangita pa og saksakanan, ma-extension wire, and so on. And then lastly is the acoustics. Check the bouncer or absorption of the sound from the wall, ceilings, floor, and furniture. Try voice checks with 3 or 4 different people monitoring voice clarity and level. So, basi ano pod no, maka-absorb ba or maka-bounce ba o kung maglanog-lanog ba yung tingog sa room, i-check na nimo sa imong ceiling, sa floor, sa furniture, no, ipang-check na nimo prior again sa during pre-training. No, so kani ato mga ipang-consider nga mga detalye when evaluating a physical training room. But it's different kung sa online po, syempre, na naputay mga guidelines ana, which I will be sharing later. Okay? So now we have choosing trainers. So aside from training room, kung asa nato ikanda kang ato ang training, no, i-check pud nato no, unsa pud ang ato ang i-consider when we choose our trainers. Unsay pasabot sa trainers, ma'am? Katong mga professionals nga atong kuhaon para maghatag.
Magtudlo.
Yes, very good. Magtudlo. Kinsa ni?
Kalinas lang.
Kalinas. Yeah, very good. Ay, napo sa chat box, oh. Ma'am, according to Realjan, ma'am, most of the site po is high rate na hotel speaker. Ayan. Oo. Yes, high rate. Most of the time, high rate siya kay tungod sa Hotel Manggod, marag very conducive na siya nga place, no. Ila gyud ang gi-design for mga activity, no, for si term ana mga function hall. So gigastuhan gyud na nila mo nang usually sa hotel siya kay dili naman maglisod ang mga organizer sa event sa training na sa ilahang sa ilahang preferred na mga detalye like kato nga free from noise and so on katong gipang-mention nato gaina naana siya sa hotel. So tama po tong idea ni Mr. Dolalas.
Abot ko ng hotel ma'am, dahil na po na access sa mga brand.
Oo, correct, tama, no? So mo nang preferably though mahal siya pero di naman ka maglabad pa kaysa mag adto ka sa bukot-bukot dili saba po daghan pod kay mga disadvantages. Okay? So also according to Mr. Dolalas, trainer means the speaker po. Ayan. Or yung mga nagadala or nagatudlo, yun ang sabi nyo sa participants sa kung unsa ang content sa training. Okay? So, ayan. Ayan, choosing the trainers. Okay? So, when selecting professional trainers or consultant, no, it is an obvious possibility or selecting professional trainers or consultant is one obvious possibility for companies. So, trainers, whether from inside or outside the company, should have expertise in the topic, no, and experience in training. So train the trainer programs are necessary for managers, employees, and experts who may have certain knowledge but need to improve presentation and communication skills, gain an understanding the key concept components of the learning process, or learn to develop lesson plans. So this may involve having employees and managers earn a certificate that verifies they have the skills needed to be effective trainers. So to increase their chances of success in their first courses, new trainers should be observed and should receive coaches and feedback from more experienced trainers. So yon, ito yung ginagawa kasi ng mga companies, no. Siyempre, nagtitipid tayo and for them to be able to have that, meron silang tinatawag na train the trainer program. So yung mga managers nila, yung employees nila, and other experts, ginapadala na nila sa professional pod na mga independent professionals to be trained on how to speak, how to handle training para pag-abot nila sa ilang company puhon, sila na mismo ang magdala sa training. Okay? But again, there is an option. Pag sinabi nating trainer, pwedeng inside. Katong imong gitrain, train the trainer program. But it could be full support outside the company. No, mga professionals nga nasa industry who are really expert no on a certain topic, sila tong nagakandak sa training. Okay? So it's very important jud na mag-consider ta no sa pag-choose sa ato ang trainers kay kung pataka lang tagpili sa atong trainer no pataka ra pud siya yaw pataka ra siya share sa topic niya wala dili day kayo in
Hindi
anak ka.
matunaw.
Yes, correct. Dili matunong. So useless lang gabayad-bayad ra ka sa iyaha, why nahibalaan ang mga participants, no? So dapat i-consider gid to siya. And then yun na, discuss ko na ito, program design. Let's just keep in mind that although the responsibility for the design the training program may belong to the instructional designer, so ang human resource professional which you will become soon, or ang manager, no, clients of the program should be involved in program design. So again, though naa daw ang responsibility daw kay sa instructional designer, pero mangilabot jud ang human resource kay ang human resource man ang nakaibalos kinsa iyang mga empleyado, no, sa mga strength, unsa kailangan sa mga empleyado. Okay? All right. Murag 2 minutes na lang mag-end na akong kuan. Mag-end na ako ang PowerPoint. 1 minute na lang gyud. Kay naka 40 minutes na mo ko na wala ko ka premium karon. So sagado na lang nako. Then we have design document can be used to guide development training and to explain the trainers, manage subject matter experts or other trainers katong document nga naga-guide unsaon pagbuhat, unsaon pag-develop sa training. Then course lesson plan naa dili tong detalye unsa ang sulod sa design. Okay? Allow me to share na lang an example. This is a very very basic example yung ginawa ni Ira na activity design for our or activity proposal na ginawa niya for our HR Fun Week. Oops, basi mag-end na ni kalit. Wait, asa na to? Yan. Yan, HR Fun Week na objectives na muna siya ang simple design na objective na i-target kung kinsa na activity design na program flow kanus na ay budgetary requirements, na ay mga signatories. So muna siya ang pinaka-simple na illustration kung saan ang dagway sa program design. But detailed siya ang program design kani simplest lang na siya nga sample. Okay, sige. Na yung mga questions, clarifications, baka mag-end rin kalit ito ang ron. Less than 1 minute na lang tayo eh. Pwede pagyapon mo tomorrow, 10 a.m.? Second round sa atong discussion?
Yes, ma'am.
Sige, tomorrow. Continue na lang tayo tomorrow kasi parang naabutan na tayo ng oras. It's already